What did Hee Jin post to trigger such backlash? What if the quiet act of sharing a book cover on social media could unravel the fragile threads of a celebrity's dignity, turning a literary echo into a battlefield of public scorn? In the glittering yet unforgiving arena of K-pop, where every gesture is dissected under a microscope of judgment, former Adore CEO Hee Jin has once again thrust herself into the eye of the storm with an Instagram story that feels less like a casual read and more like a veiled manifesto. The image in question, a simple photograph of Heinrich Böll's 1974 novel, The Lost Honor of Katharina Blum, might have slipped past unnoticed in another context. But here, it lands like a grenade, exploding into a cascade of ridicule and viral fury. There's something profoundly unsettling about this moment, a poignant reminder of how the digital age amplifies our vulnerabilities, making even the subtlest cries for empathy feel like desperate pleas drowned out by the roar of the crowd. At its core, Böll's masterpiece is a searing indictment of the media's predatory hunger, a tale that unfolds with the precision of a thriller, but cuts with the depth of a moral scalpel. The story centers on Katharina Blum, an unassuming young woman whose life shatters in the span of a single night after she spends it with a charming but wanted man. What follows is a relentless onslaught. Tabloids twist her innocence into scandal. Reporters invade her home, her workplace, her very soul, branding her a traitor to society before she's even had a chance to speak. Böll, the German Nobel laureate whose voice rose from the ashes of World War II to champion the voiceless, weaves this narrative not as mere fiction, but as a mirror to the real-world tyrannies of sensationalism. It's impossible not to feel a chill when reading it, that creeping dread of how quickly a person's essence can be reduced to headlines, sensational, salacious, and utterly stripped of humanity. For Hee Jin, posting this book feels like holding up that mirror to her own fractured reflection, a subtle nod to the chaos that has engulfed her since her high-profile clash with HYBE, the entertainment behemoth that once nurtured her creative empire. Hee Jin's journey in the K-pop ecosystem is the stuff of both inspiration and tragedy, a narrative that could easily fill volumes of its own. As a visionary creative director, she first captured the industry's imagination with her work at SM Entertainment, crafting iconic visuals for groups like SHINee and EXO that blended whimsy with edge, turning album covers into cultural artifacts. But it was with Adore, a HYBE subsidiary she co-founded in 2021, that she truly redefined girl group aesthetics. New Jeans, the quartet she meticulously shaped from concept to debut, burst onto the scene in 2022 with a sound and style that evoked Y2K nostalgia laced with modern minimalism. Think baggy jeans, schoolgirl uniforms reimagined as high fashion, and tracks like Attention that hooked millions with their effortless cool. The group's meteoric rise wasn't just commercial, it was artistic alchemy, proving that K-pop could evolve beyond formulaic perfection into something raw and relatable. Yet, beneath that success, simmered tensions with HYBE's corporate overlords, whispers of creative clashes that would soon erupt into open warfare. Watching Hee Jin's story unfold feels like witnessing a phoenix's fall. Admiration for her boldness mingling with heartache for the isolation it breeds. The HYBE Adore saga, which peaked in the spring of 2024, reads like a corporate thriller scripted by Kafka himself, full of audits, injunctions, and courtroom dramas that laid bare the cutthroat undercurrents of K entertainment. It began with HYBE's sudden audit of Adore in April, accusing Min of plotting a coup to seize control of the label and siphon off New Jeans for her own gain. Min fired back with allegations of plagiarism, pointing fingers at HYBE's rookie girl group Illit for borrowing too liberally from New Jeans' playbook. Similar outfits, choreography echoes, even promotional strategies that felt like shadows cast too close. The feud escalated into a media circus. Leaked messages, tearful press conferences, and a temporary restraining order that kept Min in her CEO role amid the chaos. By November 2024, she had resigned from the board, but the scars lingered, with New Jeans pausing activities in solidarity and fans fracturing into camps of unwavering loyalty or bitter disillusionment. There's a bitter irony here that tugs at the heartstrings. The woman who built empires on intuition, now ensnared in a web of suspicion, her every move scrutinized not for its artistry, but for its intent. It evokes a quiet sorrow, the kind that settles in when dreams collide with the machinery of power. Enter Illit, Hybe's fresh-faced answer to the girl group throne, debuting in March 2024 with a bubbly, magnetic energy that propelled them to rookie stardom. Tracks like Magnetic became inescapable earworms, their pastel-drenched visuals and playful dynamics drawing comparisons and criticisms to New Jeans' more subdued vibe. The plagiarism accusations weren't just whispers, they were lawsuits and fan-led boycotts, with Hee Jin publicly decrying the copycat aesthetics during her infamous May 2024 presser, where she brandished side-by-side images that left little to the imagination. Illit's members, young and earnest, Wonhee, Minju, Mocha, Iroha, and Yuna, found themselves thrust into the fray, their achievements overshadowed by the shadow of controversy. Fast forward to November 24, 2025, and Illit stages a triumphant comeback with their mini-album Not Cute Anymore, a bold evolution signaling maturity with edgier tracks and choreography that hints at deeper emotional layers. The release was a spectacle. Teaser images dripping in metallic hues, a fan event at Seoul's Olympic Hall, and promotions stretching into the holiday season, all timed to capitalize on the winter buzz. It's exhilarating to see their growth, that spark of defiance in lyrics, that whisper of breaking free. Yet it stirs a pang of empathy for the collateral damage, the way one group's milestone becomes another's unintended slight. Timing, as they say, is everything. And Hee Jin's post couldn't have landed at a more charged moment if it tried. Dropped mere hours after Illit's comeback dropped like a seasonal bombshell, the book cover story ignited accusations of sabotage, with netizens piling on for what they saw as a deliberate jab at her former rivals. The internet, that vast and voracious beast, did what it does best, amplified the outrage into a symphony of snark. Comments flooded in like a digital deluge. Pfft, one user snorted, the sound of derision distilled into a single breath. Did the media and public opinion manipulate Hee Jin's brain to make her do that? Another quipped, twisting Bo's themes back on her in a cruel loop. LOL, a chorus of laughter that echoed hollowly. And Illit, fighting! A rallying cry that framed the post as petty interference. What starts as a personal lament spirals into collective mockery, each emoji-laden barb a tiny arrow piercing the armor of vulnerability. It's disheartening, this reflex to laugh at pain rather than pause and ponder, a reflection of how desensitized we've become to the human cost of virality. Yet, in the midst of the jeers, there's a flicker of intrigue. Could this be Min's way of reclaiming her narrative? Or is it a slip into self-pity that only deepens the divide? Delving deeper into Bo's world offers layers that enrich the parallel Min seems to draw, inviting us to linger on the novel's unflinching gaze at societal complicity. Katarina isn't just a victim, she's a catalyst. Her one-night stand with the radical Franz Magnus Strube, a spark that ignites the press's frenzy. As reporters camp outside her door, fabricating affairs and affiliations, we see the machinery of misinformation at work. Anonymous sources, blurred ethics, and the insatiable appetite for truth that devours nuance. Bo, drawing from his own brushes with post-war German media, doesn't shy from the gore. Katarina loses her job, her family turns away, and in a fit of desperation, she takes a life, only to be immortalized as the villainess. The title itself, The Lost Honor of Katarina Bloom, whispers of irretrievable loss, a honor not just personal, but communal, eroded by the very institutions meant to uphold it. Reading it today, in an era of cancel culture and clickbait, feels eerily prescient, stirring a restless unease about our own roles as both audience and executioner. For Hee Jin, whose public battles have included everything from leaked emails painting her as scheming to fan campaigns defending her as a betrayed auteur, this book must resonate like a haunting refrain. A life once ordinary, now chaotic. Every step mined with misinterpretation. The Backlash's virality was swift and merciless, the post racking up screenshots and shares within minutes, transforming a private musing into public property. In K-pop's hyper-connected fandoms, where loyalty is currency and betrayal is spectacle, such moments become fodder for endless discourse. Threads on platforms like Twitter, now X, lit up with memes juxtaposing the book's cover against Min's tear-streaked press conference face, captions dripping with sarcasm about her victim complex. It's a spectacle that breeds exhaustion, that weary sigh when another layer of drama peels back to reveal not resolution, but recursion. One can't help but feel a twinge of protectiveness toward Min, the creative force who dared to challenge the status quo, only to be branded the disruptor. Her tenure at Adore wasn't flawless. Critics pointed to her hands-on style bordering on micromanagement, but it birthed art that transcended charts. New Jeans ditto, a ballad of quiet yearning that captured the ache of unspoken bonds. In the wake of her departure, the group inked a new deal with a restructured Adore, but the void she left lingers, a testament to how irreplaceable vision can be. As the dust settles on this latest skirmish, it's worth reflecting on the broader tapestry of women navigating K-pop's patriarchal labyrinths. Hee Jin stands in a lineage of trailblazers. Think Boa's solitary ascent, or Girls' Generation's collective endurance, each facing the double bind of genius and gender. Her post, for all its ill-timed provocation, underscores a universal truth. The media's gaze is a double-edged sword, empowering voices while wielding the power to silence them. Illit's comeback, meanwhile, shines as a beacon of resilience. Their not cute anymore era, a declaration of agency, with tracks exploring themes of self-discovery amid the spotlight's glare. The members' synchronicity on stage, that seamless blend of vulnerability and verve, evokes a quiet thrill, a hope that the next generation might rewrite the rules without the old wounds. Yet, the overlap of these stories, the mentor's lament and the protege's ascent, carries a bittersweet weight. A reminder that progress in this industry often comes laced with loss. In the end, Hee Jin's Instagram story isn't just a book recommendation, it's a dispatch from the front lines of fame's fray, a plea wrapped in prose that the world chose to unwrap as provocation. The ridicule it sparked says as much about us as it does about her, our eagerness to mock the fallen, our reluctance to empathize with the flawed. Bull's Katarina met her end in tragedy, but Min's chapter is still unfolding, penned in the ink of resilience and reinvention. As Illit's melodies fill the airwaves this holiday season, perhaps there's space for nuance, for acknowledging the humanity behind the headlines. It's a thought that lingers like a half-read page, inviting curiosity over condemnation, connection over chaos. And in that invitation, maybe, just maybe, we find a way to honor not just the stars, but the stories they struggled to tell. To expand on the emotional undercurrents, consider the quiet fury that must simmer in Hee Jin after months of legal limbo. Her exit from Adore in late 2024 was no clean break. It was a severance marked by injunctions and appeals, with Hybe's boardroom battles spilling into public view like ink on wet paper. She spoke then of betrayal, of ideas stolen and loyalties tested, her voice cracking under the weight of what felt like institutional gaslighting. Posting Beau's book now, on the cusp of Illit's pivotal moment, carries the sting of unfinished business, a subtle reminder that the plagiarism wounds haven't healed, that the echoes of Magnetic still grate against OMG's originality. It's heartbreaking, this cycle of creation and contention, where one woman's triumph is another's shadow. Fans of New Jeans, those devoted bunnies, rallied in her defense online, sharing essays on her influence, from the denim motifs that became a subculture to the lo-fi beats that redefined freshness. Their passion is palpable, a fierce love that borders on familial, making the backlash feel all the more invasive. Conversely, Illit's trajectory inspires a different shade of feeling, optimism tempered by caution. Debuting amid the scandal, they navigated rookie year with grace, their Japan showcase in 2024 a hit that bridged borders and biases. The November 2025 comeback builds on that not cute anymore, a sonic pivot toward introspection, with Yuna's vocals soaring over beats that pulse like a heartbeat quickening. Live performances at music shows promise to be electric, the group's chemistry a live wire that draws you in, leaving you breathless with possibility. But the timing of Min's post casts a pall, turning celebration into subtext, and it's that layering that evokes frustration, a wish for the industry to evolve beyond vendettas, to let talents thrive untethered. Bowles' novel, too, deserves more than a passing glance. Its 1975 film adaptation by Volker Schlondorf amplified its reach, starring Angela Winkler as a Katerina whose wide-eyed terror mirrors the disorientation of real persecution. The book's themes of privacy's erosion prefigure our smartphone surveillance state, where a story like Min's, every email, every glance parsed for malice, feels like prophecy fulfilled. It's sobering, this realization, stirring a protective instinct for those who bare their souls only to be bartered away. Hee Jin, with her signature blunt bob and unapologetic flair, embodies that risk. Her Instagram a canvas for unfiltered truth amid the gloss. As the viral wave crests, one wonders if this backlash will fade into the archives of K-pop lore, another footnote in the endless scroll. Or will it catalyze something deeper, a dialogue on ethics and entertainment, on the toll of transparency? The netizens' laughs may echo loudest now, but beneath them lies a murmur of doubt, a collective exhale at the absurdity of it all. In Min's choice of book, there's defiance wrapped in despair, a spark that refuses to dim. And as Illit fights forward, they're fighting! Cheers a mantra not just for them, but for everyone caught in the crossfire. It's a messy, magnificent world, this K-pop cosmos, where books become battle cries and comebacks conquer doubts. In its heart beats the unyielding pulse of storytellers, undeterred, ever reaching for the light. To weave in more texture, recall Hee Jin's pre-Adore days. Her stint at SM birthed visuals for FX's Pink Tape, an album whose eclectic cover art, think Victorian dolls meets graffiti, foreshadowed her genre-bending genius. That era honed her eye for the subversive, the way she layered irony over innocence, much like Beau layered critique over crime. Her fallout with Hybe echoed those early tensions, a creative soul chafing against conglomerate constraints. The 2024 hearings, broadcast in snippets, revealed a Hee Jin unbowed, sketching concepts mid-argument, her passion a force that commanded the room. It's empowering to witness that unyielding spirit, yet it aches to see it weaponized against her. Illit, in turn, channels a similar fire, their fan event on November 8th at Olympic Hall, a sold-out affair buzzing with light sticks and chants. The setlist teases Not Cute Anymore tracks like Echo, a song of lingering resonances that unwittingly nods to the feud's ghosts. Their growth, from wide-eyed rookies to poised performers, stirs pride, a sense of legacy continuing, even if fractured. The poor timing of Min's post amplifies the irony, her literary lament clashing with their pop anthems, a duet of discord. Ultimately, this episode underscores K-pop's dual nature, a forge of dreams and a crucible of critique. Hee Jin's story, like Katharina's, warns of honor's fragility, urging us to read between the lines, to feel the weight of words unspoken. In the laughter and the LOLs, there's room for reflection, for turning scorn into solidarity. As the year wanes and new chapters dawn, perhaps this viral vignette becomes a turning point, not of division, but of deeper understanding, where books bridge breaches and comebacks heal old rifts. It's a hope as tentative as a first draft, but in the world of creators like Min, hope is the ink that never runs dry.